in the Torah portion, reading and feeding, or a psalm where this point comes out, like a certain point that kind of shows the difference between the King James Version translation, which is basically structurally, I would say, basically a good point of reference, a good starting point. But then sometimes people would deep end. They'll say, oh, the King James Version is the English version, it's the best Bible. Some have even said that the KJV is better than the Hebrew and the ancient versions and all these things. The great thing about the King James Version is that we can study this side by side with the Hebrew manuscripts, the Hebrew, the Ivrit, or more correctly, the Yehudit, of the Old Testament, also the Koine Greek as well. People, some of our people, some of the Israelites and Hebrew-minded, of our people, they will say things like, they're not into the Greek, and they're not into the New Testament because Greek. And they'll be talking a bunch of English that is basically based on, hybridized on Greek and all sort of different words. English is like a bastard language. You already know that. But let's talk about friends. Friends. How many of us have them? In the YouTube streets, there's, different things that goes on amongst individuals, different things that become drama, many times based on trauma. Sometimes the drama becomes trauma in itself. Sometimes people have drama, people who, and they talk friends, talk about friends. Remember the old song, friends, how many of us have them? Friends, ones you can depend on. And then some of our people, they'll go to the Bible. They'll point to verses and scriptures in the Bible on friends. And if you know any scriptures, verses in the Bible on friends, there's a couple of verses that folks have heard. Now, you might not know the Bible, all of that, but you definitely have heard some verses. How about this one right here? Do I have this one open right here? Oh, this one has a true translation. Hold on for a moment. Okay, let's go over here. Let's go over here. Let's go over here. Let's go over here. Okay. Let's see. Here we go right here. Here we go right here. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so this is Proverbs 18:24. Now I'm going to read the verse the way the KJV has it. But let's note the disciples, fellow disciples, the Chabarim, the Talmudim, they know that when reading the King James Version of the Bible, those words that are italicized are actually not there in the Hebrew. That's a kind of a rule of thumb, a basic rule of thumb. So I hope ones and ones pick up on this, pick up on this rule of thumb, right? And here, LOJ Society, Ayadin, is one who has been pushing this way of study with discernment, study with comprehension, using the tools that we have right now wisely. Like a lot of people go into the Strongs, the Strong's words, the Strong's Concordance, and the Blue Letter Bible, Blue Letter, that's great. But sometimes when I hear folks kind of like reading some of the blue letter words and then going off on tangents about what the definition, they need to learn to read the definition, because you can look in a definitionary called a dictionary. Doesn't mean that you really understand what you're reading, and that's one thing we want to show and highlight as well. But here, let's take this one on friends, because I think it's kind of harmful because people quote this verse in the scripture and they'll speak about, well, we are Hebrews, we are Israelites, so forth and so on, but not doing due diligence. As the scripture even says, it's written in the scripture, study to shew yourself approved to Elohim, approved, right, to God, if you please, but to Elohim. For I and I, we say Elohim. Some say Alahayim. We're going to touch on that. Is it Alahayim or Alahim or whatever they say? Right? Or is it basic Hebrew? This is just basic Hebrew. It's amazing. It's amazing. But here, let's look at this verse right here about friends. A man that has friends must shew himself friendly. Uh-oh. I remember hearing this verse. I didn't even know where the verse was. I just heard, church-going, Christian, believing folks, saying this particular verse. I've heard that. I don't know whether it was my mother or was somebody in the church or somebody, a brother in the church or who I heard say this verse when I first heard it said, but I heard it more than one time, that a man that hath friends must shew himself friendly. You get that word must? Now, just reading that in English, you can see we have the Strong's words right there, on the screen, so we can go into those key words, those key phrases, right? A man that hath friends must shew himself friendly. And there is a friend that sticketh closer than a brother. I know most of y'all, not all, but many of y'all have heard that one. There's a friend, heard the preacher in the past, the preach, right? There's a friend that sticketh closer than a brother. And saints, that is Jesus. This is how that many ones have preached it. That Yeshua, right? Yeshua is that friend that sticketh closer than a brother. Right. But when I heard it in like a New Testament, preaching of the gospel and of Christ. But then I found out this is actually Proverbs, right? Mishle Shalomo, right? This is the Proverbs, the Mashal, the parables of Solomon. Now, let's read this verse again right here. Proverbs 18:24. A man, friends, must shew himself friendly. Now, even this is a tricky verse here. Why I said this is a tricky verse? Somebody say, oh, he wrong. He don't know what he's talking about. But listen up for yourself. Take notes, right? This is a tricky verse right here. First of all, the second part of the verse, after the colon, you see the word friendly, and then the blue letter, and then you see the two dots on top of each other. That's the colon, right? So usually after a colon, that part explains. That part kind of brings out. Like a man that hath friends must shew himself friendly. And there's a friend that sticketh closer than a brother. Almost like the idea that, well, if you have a lot of friends, you're going to have to be friendly to all your friends, right? And there's a friend that sticketh closer than a brother. So among all your friends, some friends are like brothers. This is some of the ways that, we try to figure out, what's being said here and apply it, as a wisdom, to our life. Correct? But there's something wrong with this particular verse right here, right? And it's a translation. Some people say, how dare you say there's something wrong with the King James Version? How dare you not be able to go into the Hebrew and break it down and build, or the Koine Greek and break it down and build? How dare you? Before you dismiss what someone is saying. I'm saying this, I'm testifying. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong about it. But if I'm correct, and this was a warning, and you go on in this, well, what happens, happens. Right? Because some people say, well, they're loners. They go solo, I've heard that even before, some, out there. Let me just say this right here. There's the Ringo TV, just to hear Ringo TV. And there's also New Breed. It's because they're back and forth, right? That the whole idea of friends, this idea of friends, becoming a little bit more. But it's always something that's been out there amongst people because, what happens among people who are like false friends. You hear these things like false friends. Notice the thing about the word friend? Have you noticed something about the word friend? All right, let's go over here. One thing you'll notice about the word friend right here is that if you take out the word R, if you take out the letter, take out the letter R, the letter R from the word friend, what do you have? You have fiend. You ever know, it's just a little interesting something, just from an English perspective, right? So you have friends, right? And you have fiends. I think it's right here. We took a little snapshot of this right here. Okay, here we go right here, right? Fiend, Yamadish, fiend, right? A fiend is an enemy, a foe, an adversary. Now notice how the English goes. There's friend, F-R-I, right, E-N-D, and there's fiend, F-I-E-N-D, fiend. Now the Old English, fion, enemy, foe, adversary, so forth and so on, fogan, like to hate, so forth and so on. You can get into, a little bit more of it right there. Now here, this is the etymology, touching on some quick etymology. Always like to go to the etymology of the word. Like, what's the origin of the word in English? Just because we speak English doesn't mean that we really know English. So here's etymology, right? So here they have freon. Now notice the English right there, Old English, freon. That's friend, right? One attached to another by feelings. of personal regard and preference. What kind of... Okay. From Proto-Germanic, yeah, free-yoyens. If that's Germanic, then the J is a Y sound. Lover, friend, which is interesting because in the Amharic, Ethiopic, there's a kind of a similarity to that kind of idea, like a friend, a beloved one, with love at the core of the idea, right? Notice that this brings it all the way down to the present participle form at the bottom of the page, pre, right, which they say to love, right? So the idea we're getting is a friend, is like someone about love, right? There's some idea of love there in friend, right? So a friend is basically a good thing. But now the bad thing, right, is the mistranslations, right? And the fact that over 400, you could say 400 years, KJV Bible, you know, in circulation, 400 years. So we're seeking to shine light on a particular darkness, right, of scripture understanding that probably has gone on for, let's just say 400 years since the length of this particular translation, the KJV translation. So here, let me read from the Hebrew. I'm going to read from the Hebrew to English translation, just to give you like a shot across the bow. There are friends that one hath to his own hurt. There are friends that one hath to his own hurt. But there is a friend that sticketh closer than a brother. So it appears that the second part of the verse, right, the second part of the verse basically is much the same as we have come to know it from Proverbs 18:24. But it's the first part of the verse. So what's being spoken of here is two kind of friends, right? Two types of friends. Some people think this verse is encouraging. Well, if you got friends, right, or people around you that say they're your friends, then you must shew yourself friendly. Isn't that what it says? Must shew himself friendly, right? But notice something, notice something, notice something, notice something, notice something, notice something. You see the two words? The two words, the H7453 for friends and the H7489, they're close words. And a lot of it spins on the Hebrew, right? Everything spins on the Hebrew. Here we have Reya, 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 like a Reya. What's a Reya, right? A Reya, right? A friend, companion, fellow, right? Let's go down here. Friend, companion, fellow, right? Notice it says right here, it's from the H7462, right? An associate. Now, what we do that others haven't been doing just yet, but hopefully they step up and start to do it, is when we go into the scripts where we actually show the word in these different contexts, like where it says after the colon, you see where it says associate, more or less close, close parenthesis, colon, then a hyphen there, brother. So sometimes Reya is translated as brother, companion, fellow, friend, as husband, lover, neighbor, right there, associate. Now, where's it from? It's from the H7462, right? Ra'ah, Ra'ah. Now, Ra'ah is interesting because it's another word, Ra'ah, Ra'ah, Ra'ah. It's almost spelled in a similar to the same way. That means evil. That means evil. But evil in its non-religious sense is that which is harmful. That good, right, in its non-religious sense is that which is beneficial, right, helpful, right, that which is good, that which is pleasing. Ra'ah, Ra'ah. Right now, so we have Ra'ah here. Let me scroll this down so you can see. It means to pasture, to tend, to graze, to feed. So it appears that Reya is like a kind of in a community that is a pastoral community. Right? Fellow shepherds are like friends, you know, like we're in the same sort of thing. We're doing the same sort of thing. Even today, if one's on the same sort of thing, sports, this, music, whatnot like that, there's a tendency for ones in that circle to be friends, right? Like my fellow shepherd, Reya. But it comes from the Ra'ah, right, to pasture. Now, notice right here. Let's say it says to flock, to tend the flock, to pasture. It's the italicized words that are the key words in the definition. When we're looking at Strong's definition, it's the tend, pasture, graze, rule, rule in the literal or figurative sense. By extension, right, is to associate with as a friend. So if I, as a shepherd, tend, right, pasture, graze, and in a literal or figurative sense rule, then by extension, my associates are those who do the same thing. Therefore, they're my companions, my rea. All right, so that's the word right there. They're there for friend. Let's move this over here. Let's close that right there. Close that right there. Now, let's look what it says, must shew himself friendly. The word friendly is the H7489. Now, they're close in the numbering, but they're different words. They have similar letters and a similar general sound, but when they're properly pronounced and understood, they're two different words. Here you have ra'a, 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 ra'a. You have ra'a, ra'a, ra'a. Like rah-rah, all that rah-rah. You know when we say all that rah-rah, one's bringing all that rah-rah. What does that define as? Bad, evil. But in practical, non-religious terms, that's that which is displeasing, all that rah-rah, rah-ah-ah, right? All that rah-ah-ah, right? That which is sad, that which is injurious, evil, wicked, ethically wicked, right? In the different senses of the rah-ah-ah as a verb, right? The hefil sense, for example, is like to do injury, to do hurt, right? All them that seek my hurt in the Hebrew sense is all them that seek my evil. They seek evil for me. Mischief, hurt, injury, ra'ah, all that rah-rah, right? To break, to be broken. In another form of the word, right, is to break. So that breaking. So the evil, the hurtful, the bad has some sense of breaking, right? Broken. Right now, this is a particular word for broken connected with the word generally for evil. Let's scroll down here. Ra'ah, ra, ra, all that ra, ra'ah, right? Properly to spoil, literally by breaking to pieces the evil and evil. To make, figurative in the figure of speech is to make, to be good for nothing. Good for nothing. We've heard that term, right? Good for nothing, once lost, now found, Beta Israel, haven't we? Good for nothing. You know, that's like an old time among our people kind of a phrase. So-and-so is good for nothing. That means basically they're saying they rah-rah. They're on that rah-rah, rah-ah-ah. But notice rah-ah-ah. And then when we say rah-rah, you see that right there? And this is something that we say, once lost, now found. That is bad, right? Physically, so the bad, right, or that which is harmful, is physically, in the physical sense, social sense, and moral sense, right? But notice the next open parenthesis. Here's where people get confused. It says associate selves and shew self-friendly are by mistake. You see what it says right there? To associate selves, to associate oneself, and to show self-friendly are by mistake. For what? The H7462, ra'ah. You see, it's a similar term. How do we know? We study. This is how we know. Similar does not mean the same. Ra'ah. Now, ra'ah. So that one is the ra'ah, right? The ra'ah. It has an ayn. Ayn is a hard A sound, right? A hard A sound. Some of these people say, our people there, Lashon Kadash, they say, well, since the letter's called ayn, it's an I sound. That's some English stuff. You stuck in the matrix of English, right? No, it's ra'ah, 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 ra'ah. Like we say ra, ra, all that ra. But here this is ra'ah, 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 to pasture, to pasture. Notice what it tells you. It tells you right here, right? By mistake. They're telling you that they found out by mistake that these words, because they have a resh and ayn, right? And a hey, they're the same word. Resh is the R, ayn is the hard A sound, and a hey, right? So it's a study to shew ourselves approved, right? And we should know this, right? We should know this. Yes, the King James Version of the Bible we go to, but we have to study right? It says test all things, right? Right? Prove that which is, that which is good, right? That which is helpful, beneficial. So here, let me take you over here for a quick moment. Move this over here. I got to be conscious of this time, because here I got like a little limitation on the time here, but I will seek to pick up in a part 2 if it goes out too soon. Here's the word. Here's the phrase. Ish re'im. Ish re'im. Lehit ro'ea. Lehit ro'ea. Lehit ro'ea. Right? With yesh oheb dabek me'ach. May from ach. More than a brother. Sticketh closer than a brother. Dabek me'ach. Dabek me'ach. That sticketh closer. So we know the second part of the phrase, Yesh oheb dabek me'ach, is, we understand that part there, and there's a friend that sticketh closer than a brother. But this first part here, Ish ra'im. Ish ra'im lehit ro'ea. Lehit ro'ea. Lehit ro'ea. Lehit ro'ea. What is that? Let's see if any of these translators really bring it out. Boom. The NET brought it out, right? A friend, a person who has friends may be harmed by them. Lehita ro'ea, right? But there is a friend who's sticking close. We know that part is good. Look, that NHEB, the so-called New Hebrew, NHEB says, a man of many companions, lehita ro'ea, may be ruined. Let's go down here. The WEB, all these are coming from like checking out the Hebrew, right? A man of many companions, Re'im. So Ish is the man, Re'im is like companions, the Re'az are called the Re'im, right? So Ish, a man of Re'im, Re'im lehita ro'ea. A man's companions, or so-called friends or associates, in this context right here, the re'ah sense, right, coming from the shepherd pasture, right, lehita ro'ea. What we have here in the Hebrew is like a pun. It's like a pun on, from the Hebrew, like in the speaking of Hebrew to intelligent Hebrew speakers, right, there's a pun, right, on the words, but this brings out, like in English, when we use words, similar sounds, but with different kind of meaning, and somebody had to pick up, you say something, they hear, then they're like, oh, yeah, yo, I get what you're saying. That's this right here. Isha re'ima lehita ro'ea. Right? But what it does not mean is that a man that has friends, right, a man, that's why they put in that has, because here in the Hebrew, ish, which is like a man of a higher standing, like a man of responsibility, not like just a regular man, but a ish, right? A man of what's the low degrees, high degrees, low. The B'nai Adam, the sons of Adam, the common man, B'nai Ish, is man of like responsibility, of standing, right? That's because a couple of words that can be translated as man, Adam, and Ish. Right? For example, Geber also. But here we have Adam and Ish. Here we have Ish Re'im Lehit Ro'ea. Right? And the part for ones who might not be familiar that we are going through on the screen right here is these words. Specifically these words right there. Right? Ish Re'im Lehita Ro'ea. Right? Because the KJV said as a man that have friends, right, must show himself friendly. Because it's a mistake. We just showed you it's a mistake. Right there, they mistake these two Hebrew words, right? From an English or Western Gentile perspective, they seem awfully close. But as we learn to speak, the opening of the mouth and the proper articulation, we recognize it's like English, right? It's, I use the N-word sometime. I know the N-word is like, yeah, it gets whatever. But there is like the nigga, right? And there is the negger. You know what I mean? That little thing right there, for ones who pick up on that right there, that's a nuance there. People say it's the same. It's not the same to us. Notice that, right? Say these two words these two words that may be similar, right? When they're not said the same, it means they're not the same. It means by saying it different, there is a different spirit and intent there, right? That's why it says not the letter of the law, but the Spirit of the law. That's why there are friends. Another translation of it is there are friends that one hath to his own hurt, right? There are friends. The first word is ish, meaning a man, right? A man. So here, let's go over here. Ish, right? Ish, right? Here's the word ish, a man, right? A man, ish, right? A man, ish, right? Ish. There we go. Ish. Let's go down here to Strong's. Ish, a man, right? As an individual or a male, like a male person, a man, right? So here we go. Ish. So let's touch on ish right here. The first word is ish, right? Ish, a man, and the phrase is ish re'im, ish re'im, right? A man of friends. So the phrase in the Hebrew, ish re'im, means a man of friends, right? A man of friends, right? There we go right there. Ish re'im, ish re'im, ish re'im, ish re'im. A man of friends. It signifies one who indiscriminately multiplies his friends or his companions, his associates. Like, notice some business people, they have companion associates, but it's very limited. It's a very limited. Here it's speaking about a ish, a man, ra'im, of friends, one who indiscriminately, without any discernment, lacking discernment, multiplies his, quote, friends. How many of us have them? Friends, ones you can depend, right? Now, we have in 2 Samuel, for the Talmudim, the fellow disciples, right? In 2 Samuel, 2 Shemuel, 2 Samuel chapter 14, verse 19. Take note. 2 Samuel chapter 14, verse 19. Take note. Let's bring this down over here, right? Take note right there. As well as Micah chapter 6, verse 10. Right? We have ish is a variation of yesh, right? So what they're saying right here is that the word ish, you see the word ish right there, is a variation of this word right here, yesh, right? This is with yesh. Let's see if we can take off the conjunction. There we go. No, went back right there. Let's take off the conjunction. There we go. Yesh, yesh. Yesh is this word, yesh. Yesh, yesh, to bring into existence, yesh. Like if I say yesh li, yesh, right, li, for me, like I have something. You know, like if I say yesh li, sefer yesh li, I have a book, right? Just to bring out, like a book exists, right? So when you see existence, you got to understand the context of this. Yesh, 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 right? So what's being said right here is that ish is a variant of yesh. There are, right? There is. And so in the Targum, in the interpretations, and interpretation, we go to scripts. Right? It might not sound, if somebody give you a summary of interpretation, like a teaching, right? People say, oh, whoa, right? But it's based on study of the script, study to show ourselves approved. Now, there's something right here. I'm looking at the time, you know, definitely going on the time right here. Right, the time right here, because we have to be careful of the time. If we have to continue this, if you want more of this, we'll continue this in like a part 2, right? A part 2, right? Definitely try to follow up for part 2. There we go right there. There we go. Now, this is the notes. This is the study notes. I have to say, I'm studying. I've read the Bible, I've read the whole Bible. I read the Bible 15,000 times. I read the Bible one time. I read the Bible. Study to show yourself through Proverbs 18:24. Right? 18:24. How many times people read something and you ask them, what was that about? I don't know. Then they start looking at it again. He's like, well, I thought you just read it. Because reading is just reading. Yeah, but we study, right? Verse 24 says, a man of many friends comes off a loser, right? Comes off a loser. Lehita ro'ea. Lehit ro'ea. Lehit ro'ea. Lehit ro'ea. Comes off as a loser, or that one hath to his own hurt, right? This basically means in the sense of lehita ro'ea, like he's hurting himself. That's the sense of it. He is hurting himself, or in translation, to his own hurt. The verb, right, is derived from like 2 roots, right? right, possibly can be derived from two roots, right? And this is where the KJV translators sort of confuse this, right? To associate with, and then the sense of to act as a companion to one another. Some people try to bring out that sense, right? That sense. Now, here we're going to have to go back over here, right? Go back over here. Let's bring up this right here so we can bring out this sense right here. So here is what is being looked at. We have friends, right? The Re'ah sense. Let's see where it said the Re'ah sense, right? Ra'ah, right? To tend, to pasture, to graze, right? Right? To tend, to pasture, and to graze. And then we have the friendly sense, Ra'ah. Ra'ah. But notice it says bad. They're telling you right there. Now, let's go down to the bottom where it says by mistake. You see what it says right here? Associate themselves, show themselves friendly. This is the mistake right here from this Ra'ah, right? To tend, to pasture, right? It's a little bit of getting into the Hebrew nuance of it. But here's what's the good thing. Even you don't have to get all into the Hebrew nuances if that's not, say, your thing or your calling, right? But 2 or 3 witnesses, right? Every word is yeah, right? So this type of friendship is referred to in the passage. There's a friend that is a companion at the table, and he will not continue in the day of thy affliction, right? Ecclesiasticus 6:10 says there's a friend that is a companion at the shulchan, at the table, and he will not continue in the day of thy affliction. So you have a friend that comes around to eat off your table. But when you're going through affliction, you don't see him at your table no more because you probably don't got no food no more, right? But here's a sense this is being used in right here, right? Here's a sense, right? Here's a sense because over here it says a friend, right? Hey, right? That sticketh closer. Actually, this friend right here is a lover, right? Ahab, ohab, right? To love, right? One who really loves you, right? How do we determine friends and friendship? The secondary of lehita ro'eya is to break, right? Which gives the text the meaning to break one another, right? They are pretend a friendship. They pretend a friendship. So basically from the study of Proverbs, we get to learn there's 2 types of friends, right? There's the one who's a companion, re'ah, associate to one another. And there's the one that seeks to break, right? To break one another, right? They pretend a friendship, but do not scruple, right? You know, it doesn't bother them to do harm. It doesn't bother them to do harm to the friendship or to one another if it is to their personal advantage, right? Because who do they love? They love themselves. You see what I'm saying? They love themselves. It's to their personal advantage, but yet they will claim to themselves and in themselves and to others that they are your friend. Remember that old song, Friends? How many of us have them? Friends, ones you can depend on. So many of the High Yehudi and I, you know, commentating on this, you know, might adopt the first alternative, right, which is to be preferred, right, the first alternative. But what's clear is that there are friends that one have to their own hurt. So I think we kind of showed you this, some of the translation. Let's look up here. Let's go from the very top. Look, the BBE, even BBE, this alternative translation. I always like to kind of test, you know, even though we say the KJV is a good, you know, we use that, right, as a basic, you know, stepping stone. Be careful, you know, of the stumbling block, but as a basic stepping stone. And then we like to compare with other translations, some that we do more heavily agree with, some that we don't, but occasionally they might be on to something like the BBE is. They are friends who may be a man's destruction, lehita ro'eya, but there is a lover who keeps nearer than a brother. This is actually very true to the Hebrew sense. Oheb, Yesh oheb, and there is an oheb, right? Dabek, that sticketh. Dabek, may from meach. There's a friend that sticketh closer than a brother. Dabek, meach. Dabek, to stick, right? To cling, to stick. Meach. From a brother, the sense is like more than a brother. Notice the BSB says, a man of many companions. Ish re'im Ish ra'im, a man of many companions, may come to ruin. Lehita ro'eah, lehit ro'eah. This is it. It's not must show himself friendly. There's a confusion in terms. Now we can get into the Hebrew nuance of it, but just to make the basic point, that KJV, King James Version, in many ways, study-wise, structurally wise, is very good. It's a good kind of a stepping stone, right? But it's not perfect, and so we have to study, and iron sharpen iron. Because sometimes when we say these things, people say, no, you're wrong, bro. You know what I mean? But give thanks. I'm going to pick up on this and run with it and not give credit, so forth and so on. But so be it. You know, the truth, right, shall set you free. A man of many companions may come to ruin. Once again, lehita ro'eah, but there's a friend, yesh oheb, who stays closer or sticketh, clingeth, dabek, than a brother, me'ach, than a ach, not ak, but ach. So let's go down to easy English. Easy English, a lot of times they freestyle things, but even they are getting more to the sense of it. A man with many friends may lose them. Okay, but there is a friend who keeps nearer than a brother. So the B part of it, the Hebrew here, is all the same. Lehita ro'eah. You know, that's the key word right there. Lehita ro'eah. Right? The ISV even gets it correct. The ISV on this verse, in this area, right? This first part of the verse, right? Well, actually the whole verse here. A man with many friends can still be ruined. Lehita ro'eah. A man of friends. Ish ra'im. A man who has companions. A man who has associates. Right? So you might think, man, he got friends, he got associates. Nothing can harm or bother him. But lehita ro'eah, he still can be ruined, right? He still can hurt himself because of this situation. But a true friend, which is the oheb, or in modern Hebrew, ohev, but ancient pointing Afro, Semitic pointing oheb. A true friend is a lover, right? Oheb, that sticks closer than a brother. In fact, the word for friend here, right? Notice this right here. The word for friend, re'ah, for friend, companion, associate here, right? And the word for friend in the second part of the verse from ahab. Ahab is the noun, right? In the sense of ahab is the verb, right? Is the verb, the action, right? The noun is oheb, like a lover, right? But there's a lover, one who truly loves, right? So the significance of love right here. So a lover is a genuine friend, right? You may have a companion. Somebody may be a companion, like a business associate, you know, and that they are your companion in business, but that's just the business there, right? The oheb, right, is a lover, a genuine friend, right? And we say a lover, you know, we're speaking in a high morality sense, because some people get these things confused nowadays, you know, with the sodomite activisms and all the schisms and everything. But we're talking about oheb, a genuine friend, you know, a one who, you know, love one another, you know, like as yourself on that level, right? Sticketh closer. Sticketh closer means that even in the time of trouble, right, that oheb, that lover, will be there. Right? And we're not saying sexual. We're not talking about none of that right there. We're talking about the essence, right? You know, like love covers a multitude of sins. You know what I mean? That sort of love, you know, for Elohim so loved the world. You know what I mean? That sort of love right there, right? Not a foolish love, but, you know, where it says, love one another as I have loved you, Robeno Yeshua said, right? You know, love one another, right, as yourself. But here's the key. Ones might not truly love themselves. You see what I'm saying? So if one thinks they love themselves but don't really love themselves, then their love of others is going to be compromised. That's just reasoning, a quick reasoning there. But now, enough on that right there, because I think we've kind of made this point. We'd like to get into some of the nuance of the lehita ro'eah, but I think we've proven the point right there, you know, with more than 2 or 3 witnesses. You know what I mean? You know, the NET, the NHEB, we broke down, you know, the Hebrew, you know, to the best ability right here. Here's the ra-ah-ah, you know, the ra-ra, ra-ra, ra, ra, bad, hurtful, harmful. And that's the heat poel sense, right? The heat poel sense. That's like harming one another, spoiling, breaking, being good for nothing for one another, right? But then you see where it says right here, this is the mistake, right? The mistake, you see what I'm saying? Show, right? Show self-friendly are by mistake for another similar word in Hebrew, right? So most of the scholars got it in the KJV at that time. I guess maybe they didn't get it, you know, that crept in there. You know, from a Hebrew perspective, it's understandable that somebody might, you know, mistake these two Hebrew terms, right? But even after the printing, right, that already came out. That understanding where the correction already has come out, right? Remember, 1611, like 400 years, the correction already came out. You know what I mean? It's just like the update on that has not, because, you know, people get caught up in, you know, bibliolatry, like idolatry, bibliolatry. They start to, like, you know, idolize a particular version of the Bible. You know what I mean? That's basically a translation, you know, not even like with the Hebrew that has any claim to really originality of and in itself, right? And then we say, well, it's from the Hebrew, so forth and so on. You need to study in tongues. People talk about speaking in tongues. We're going to coin a new thing right here, study. Right? Study in tongues, right? Study in the tongue of the Hebrew, you know, just to verify that. And there's a lot of warnings that have been on this verse. Like when I go over here to the commentary right here, the Kyle and Delich commentary, they kind of break this down right here as, you know, we can go through this. You know, it may not be the most exciting study right here, but it's well worth, right? Like it says, it makes no material difference in the meaning of 24a, whether we explain they are friends who serve to bring one to loss, lehita ro'eya, or a man of friends, a ish ra'im, comes to loss, lehita ro'eya. He comes to bad, right? He comes to a bad situation, like his own hurt, his own, like harm, right? Or lack of benefit, lit. And then finish to that, that's the letter lamed, so the lid. And hita ro'eya, lehita ro'eya. It's just breaking it down, you know, in the studies. But it's not as complicated as it might seem at first, you know, and come, make we study, right? You know, hasten with many friends, or a man of many friends. Ish ra'im, right? The ish right there, it is true that the ish is like the Baal. Baal is like a husband, or Baal is like an owner. I know people say Baal is the Phoenician, the Canaanite god. Yes, it is. But it's like they took regular words. Somebody worship table, right? They worship table as God. Does that mean that we can't use a table, right? Because they worship a table, right? Now, if one of us start worshiping a table, that's really foolish, because we know what a table is. That table is not God. That's the same thing as the word Baal. That's gotten so confused, right? But be that as it may, you know, it kind of is breaking this right here down, going into some of the sense of the hita ro'eya, you know, some of the confusions right there, the ra'ah. Let me highlight that. This is the word right here. Right, this is the word right here where it says friendly, right? Where they mistranslate, it's ra'ah, to sinful, wicked. In other words, to be hurtful, to harmful. But then we also have right here, and it's comparing scripture with scripture, like Isaiah, right? Here it says to become brittle, right? Which not only gives a good sense, but also a similar alliteration of ra'im. So there's like puns in this. It's like within the Hebrew, you know, ish, ra'im, lehit, ro'eya, ra'im. There's a similarity of these sounds that makes the emphasis of the meaning and the pun. It's almost like, it's like a parable. A mashal is a literal parable. Remember what Messiah said in Matthew chapter 13? They asked him, why are you giving these parables to the people there? You know, like seeing, see, you know, and hearing, hear, but they're not going to get it. You know, in other words, it takes like a mental ascension, a mental aliyah going up, you know, going up in thoughts to understand this. You know what I mean? So here they break this down right here, which is to have such a one, to have that one that is that Wiyesh Oheb, to have a real love of somebody who loves you, right, to a degree as they love themselves, right, which is like the golden rule, right? To have such a one is better than to have many of the so-called friends of Ra'im, right? And as it appears from the contrast to him who is fortunate or blessed as to have one Oheb, one lover, one friend, right? There comes a baraka, empowerment to be prospered, and shalom, and safety. One named Emmanuel has given the right explanation. A man who sets himself to gain many friends comes finally to be a loser, right? Comes finally to be a loser. You know, it's different ones. We're looking at the Hebrew and trying to bring out into, you know, non-Hebrew languages the essential meaning in spirit and truth that they can pick up from Ish Ra'im Lehita Roeya. A man who sets himself to gain many friends, Ish Ra'im, comes finally to be a loser, lehita ro'eya. Why? For lama zeh, for he squanders his means and is impoverished in favor of others. Chant. All right, now this is Latin right there. We're going to glide over that, though we could get into it, but right here for time consideration, this closes this group of Proverbs. There's a group of Proverbs right here that has the praise of friendship. Friendship deepen into spiritual brotherhood, a spiritual chabarim, in spirit, right, and in truth, as in the preceding. The preceding, right, what was the preceding? What was the preceding? What was the preceding right here? What the preceding one says. Let's go to KJV up first. A brother offended, right, then a strong city, and contentions like bars of a castle. The word's harder to be won. You see it's italicized. It's not really there, but it's just pointing to this right here. All right. What's the true translation? We'll stay tuned. You know, with a warning against the destruction of such a relation by a breach of trust not to be made good again. Once again, let's go over that one. I'm going to read from the Hebrew right here. A brother offended. They have it's harder to be won than a strong city here. Right? Literally, a brother transgress against then a strong city, and contentions like the bar of a castle. This is the real way that Proverbs 18:19 from the Hebrew literally directly is brought out. A brother transgressed against then a strong city, and contentions like the bar of a castle. Right? This is a warning against the destruction of such a relationship. A real brother, right? By a breach of trust and therefore truth, not to be made good again, right? Cannot be made good again. We good? We good? What's going on? Notice how we talk. Once lost, now found. You good? Yeah, you good. Is it good? Yo, it's good. It's good. You know, I sent you such and such. Is it good? Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's real good. You know what I mean? It's good. So friend, right? Friend, right? Okay, we'll touch on this one right here, you know, but some basics on friend, right? Friend, how it comes down to us in the Gentile languages. But notice even there, when they break down the etymology, it's lover. The true friend is the oheb, So in Proverbs 18:24, the true friend is in the second part of the verse. Right? You know, when it says a friend, Ra'im is not really friends. It's like associates. It's like companions. It's like fellow shepherds, somebody who's in the same line of business, almost on a certain level. When, you know what I mean? Denoting, okay, this is another thing on friendship. You know, was going through some words right there, the etymology. We don't need to go there. We cut to the chase. You know what I mean? They say a. What is it? A, good friend. A. Friends. How many of us have them? Friends. Best friend. So what the verse in Proverbs 18:24 is talking about a friend, but that friend is a best friend, right? Best friend. What says a person or individual closest friend. Actually be more in the sense of the proverb, a friend, right? Who is the friend, right? You know, you can have a couple of A's, but having so many is not good according to what the Proverbs is really saying, right? Person who hates your ex more than you, okay, all this kind of stuff. Someone who's more willing to put up with your shit. Okay, that's that Western Gentile thing, which basically is like false friends, right? A man who has false friends hurts himself. That's what the verse in Proverbs 18:24 is really saying. A man who has false friends, you know, hurts himself. Right? But it's saying false friends in the context of the wisdom that we have in the proverb, right? In Proverbs 18:24. The two types of friends, right? People who you associate with, the re'im, right? And the one who really has your interests at heart, right? Love one another. You know, love your brother as yourself in that sense. All right, so the brother who loves you as yourself, that brother is that ohayb, you know, is that friend, according to Proverbs, right? According to Proverbs right here. Let's bring this out. In fact, we want to sum it up right here and take a screenshot of this because this is the true translation of the verse, right? A man with many friends, associates, companions, cometh off a loser, right? But there is a friend, right, with yesh, ohayb, more faithful, or that sticketh closer, right, that sticketh closer, me'ach, than even one's own brother, right? Here we'll sum it up down here because the KJV kind of falls short right there in that particular verse. I think it's a key verse because I hear a lot of people quoting to that. You know, I have a lot of friends, therefore I show myself friendly. Oh, I didn't say this, but let me say this here. I was going to begin off with it. But I first got this insight while looking at the King of Kings Bible, the Royal Amharic. You know, the Royal Amharic, you know, Book of the Seven Seals, His Majesty's Bible. And it said that right there as well, 18:18. Let's see if I can do this right here. Let's see if I can do this within the time we have right here. Let's see, right here. Let's open that right there. Well, we're at Proverbs 18. So let's go to Proverbs 18. Okay, let's move this down. 18:24. Right? 18:24. It's way at the bottom. It says, Bizu wadajoch. Many wadajoch. Many friends. You know, many friends. Right? Or lovers, in a sense. Friends in Amharic. Wadajoch. Wadajoch. Bizu wadajoch. Yalut. He who has sawu, man, yitefal. Yitefal corresponds to lehita ro'eya. Yitefal is like destroyed. He perishes. He's destroyed. Negergin. The second line, negergin. But, however, on the other hand, ka wendem abilto. One who is superior or preferable to a brother from a wendem. Ka wendem abilto. Right? Yemiyat egaga. One who sticks. He who sticks, wadaj ale. Yemiyat egaga, wadaj ale is a wadaj. Wadaj is like a real friend. So basically what it's saying in the Amharic translation of the King of Kings Bible, right here. Book of the Seven Seals, we call it, the Authorized Revised Amharic Bible of Kedemah Haile Selassie, is saying, Bizu wadajoch yalut so yitefal, right? Many friends or lovers, a man who has many friends, lovers, is destroyed. This is exactly what the Hebrew says, Ish Raima Lehita Ro'eya, comes off a loser, is destroyed. It's going to suffer loss because Tefah also suffer loss, right? Negergin, Kawendem abilto yemiyat egaga, wadajale, right? Wiyesh ohayb, right? Dabek me'ach, right? But there is a friend, a wadaj, right? A wadaj. So what it's like, look for quality over quantity. That's the wisdom here. That's the wisdom that we have right here. You know, within this particular proverb that we sought to do a little bit of a reasoning on. Because sometimes when we hear people quote it and they be talking like KJV be talking, I know it's not their fault because other things in the KJV translation are right and accurate. And how are they to know? Right? So it says like if a watchman, you know, a watchman sees something, he has to sound an alarm, a warning. So it's a warning on this mistranslation about friends, right? The Bible, what does the Bible really say about friends, right? Friends and the Bible. What does it really say, right? In Proverbs 18:24, right? So we hope we shine some light, illumination on that, and one do their own study to shew themselves approved on this. A man that have friends must show himself friendly. No, 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 no. A man that have friends, a man of friends, right? Like friends, you know, can suffer loss, right? You know, has friends, have all these friends, like calling everybody a friend is to your own heart. It's to your own hurt. But there is a friend, non discernment, right? There is a friend. We yesh ohei, dabek me'ach, that sticks closer than a brother. So here. This is Rasiadonis. This is Yadin, L-O-J. Lion Jew Society here, Rastafari, Yehudim, right here. Check us out. Give thanks, like or dislike, you know. Share, subscribe, share this with others as well on friends, you know what I mean? Friends, how many of us have them? You know, in reality, it's not like the TV show, you know, John, no.